Hey everybody, hope you are well today. Well, we got a lot to cover. Let me just make sure that this is working right. Close that out. Close that out. Close that out. Okay. If you can hear and see me, let me know. That'd help a lot. Why are you breathing so heavy? Just because we just got back from our walk, and then we stopped over to our burnt up storage unit. Um, it seemed that two of the stalls over from me, somebody had maybe lithium batteries or something, and it started and then cooked some of this. They were able to catch it, but all the sprinklers went on, and um, my storage unit was one of the big things that I've been, you know, starting to work to, because there was a lot of older stuff in there. Um, some of the newer stuff I had moved over, and unfortunately it spread. They were able to get it. Some of the stuff is just gone, and some of the stuff we were able to save, because fortunately I used totes, so it doesn't stink and stuff like that. So I was able to move that stuff into um, my shed, until I can sell some of this stuff and kind of move everything over here. Went to him and I said, "Hey, okay, you know, what do I, you have insurance, right? Yeah. If you read your contract, it only covers up to $500. $500? I must have lost about 10,000. So I went to my homeowners. They said, "Well, you didn't put it on to your homeowners, so we can't do anything for you." And I'm just at my wit's end. Here's to you guys. So one of the things that I lost. So during the week, after I got what was left, and there wasn't much left, I got some things, and it would just be too much to bring out here. But I can't leave it into the shed because it gets up to about 130 in there. So what I'm doing is there was stuff here that I wanted to auction, but I wasn't going to do it till the end of the year. But in the next week or so, I will auction off a bunch of this so I can make room for that. Clean up what I have. It's the stuff that I lost that was horrible. I had fully painted Primal, and that one sticks out because during the week I started writing companies that there were newer things that I had, and I said, "Hey, listen, I'll do a review and this, that, and the other. Is there any way you can kind of give me a discount? Here's what happened." And the only people I heard back from was Reggie Games, and hats off to them. Now, I haven't hit half the people because I'm trying to piece together, some of the stuff. I mean, some of the Avalon Hill stuff that I had, I mean, it's heart-wrenching. I mean, I can barely think right now. And, well, you're only covered for $500. $500, how does that replace anything? So I said, what were the things that are replaceable? I started looking on eBay because I had a copy of Magic Realm that is just gone and just soaked. And like I said, I wrote, and Reggie Games said, "Hey, listen, we'll help you out. We're just going to send you a new set." Which, what does that say about the people that did Primal? I mean, they didn't have to do that, and I didn't expect them to do it, but very, very kind of them. I had 2 copies too. One I auctioned off, the unpainted one, but the painted one I kept because I wanted to do a series, which I was planning on doing. That would have ran in September because I've already got my live play. Friday's live play day. I'm just gonna move this a little bit. There we go. Friday's live play day. I've been trying to make it, and I printed a lot of live play stuff. I lost a lot of my A on N stuff. I do have some of it here. That hurt. We lost some really older SPI space games and war games that you can't replace. There was some newer stuff there that I moved over until I can get some things done here. Heart wrenching. I had some Warhammer stuff there. That hurt. I had my 40 epic, my epic 40K stuff gone. Just, fortunately, a lot of the bigger stuff, my Warhammer Quest is here, my Blood Bowl's here, my Arkham Horror. You can come out. Oh, was that you, Belle? I got my Kingdom Death Monster here. My Aeon Trespass is here. League of Dungeoneers, thank God. What are we doing? And that stuff. I didn't lose any of that. All my Chip Theory game stuff I always keep close by. My Flying Frog stuff is here. Shadows of Brimstone is here. Space Hulk, thank God. And I was thinking of moving that over. So, Dungeon Universalis. A lot of the more important stuff is here, but there were just things that meant something that I moved over temporarily that just got either, smell like, you can't get the stink out of it. My Mage Knight is here, thank God. Rob, so sorry to hear about that. I can send you my copy of that's really kind of you. I don't want you to give up anything that means something to you, brother. What else did I lose? Zombicide stuff. But I did a video because I was going to get rid of that, so, that I don't feel too bad about. Well, I feel bad about it, don't get me wrong. That's very kind of you, Richard. God bless you. There's good people out there in this world. Some GMT stuff I lost, which freaking. Thank God, there are some things that are just full of memories, and one of them I'm looking right out is Dungeon Quest, and that one, the original I have that I'm looking right at. I was thinking of moving that over. I got the other one. I'll play the other one here, and the other one I can put in there until I can figure out what I'm how I'm going to close out that storage unit. It's closed out now, folks. And Ace, Who's that? Sorry, I got to put my glasses on. Sparky, how are you? Um, and I was thinking of bringing it. Sometimes things happen in mysterious ways, and I was thinking, hey, you know what? I'll bring that over for a while. I'll get this cleaned up because we're still working on this, trying to perfect it. Um, Now I'm so much happier with the way it is right now, and that game means so much to me because of what it's been through. Back when I started the channel, there was a girl that was dying, and her father wanted to play that with her because it was one of her favorite games. So I sent her my original with all the painted miniatures. Um, and I never heard from them for a while. A couple years went by, and then all of a sudden I got a package. I opened up the package, and inside the package was the Dungeon Quest game and a note saying, "We had so much fun playing this together. She passed away on such and such day," and it just ripped my heart out. You know, I always went, "Oh, why did I send that game off?" But I knew why I sent it off. It meant more to them than it ever could for me, and that game sits there. That'll never leave my collection. And it's things like that, those memories that you have, that you build. The collection, your collection becomes part of you. It becomes who you are in essence. You know? Do you have all kinds of certain types of games and stuff like that and things like that? And what do they mean to you? Like Talisman, or you're going to see a video coming up on the latest Talisman. And still, I keep pushing forward. In life, I just keep pushing forward. And, like Talisman, that's my family's favorite game. I hate the freaking game. It's Fantasy Monopoly. But they have the new version out, And, fortunately, to make room, I put in trust my daughter, who that game means the world to. I gave her everything from the 4th edition of Talisman, the 2nd edition of Talisman, and the 1st edition of Talisman. I also gave her all the Resident Evil stuff because she's a huge Resident Evil fan, which she has. I got her the card game. Do you realize how much that card game is worth? I didn't even realize it. She goes, "Dad, do you know what this box worth?" I go, "What's it worth?" $400. What? I go, "The game's not good." She goes, people will pay through the nose for this Resident Evil stuff. I went, wow. She goes, "I'm never going to sell it." I go, "Well, if you ever get in a jam, go ahead, sell it, So, we're going to have a fire sale, believe it or not. It sounds funny. I'm going to do it next week sometime. Right now, I'm just too mentally exhausted. It's just one thing after another. And, I'm going to try to reach out to some of the companies because one side I had all newer stuff. And, I'll see if they answer. If they give me a discount, I can kind of work on it. But I'm going to try to raise up the money to replace some of the things. And then, see what I can do. But Reggie Games, if you don't support them, dear God, you need to. One of the things that really bothered me was Play.com, which some of that stuff went because I was working into doing that, and I had different versions of the wrestling game, and I love that wrestling game. I lost that. Hold on for a second. Some of the painted stuff really bothers me because, especially with my hand, I can't paint as well now. That, you know, what are you going to do? I did want to show you guys something, though. I've been doing these playthroughs, so I'm going to tell you how these playthroughs go. My friend Little Monk, who has been so kind and did all the Warhammer stuff, I did a little series of that. But before that comes up, I had Hero Quest, which was going to start this Friday. And what I did is it's a 3-video series of Hero Quest First Light. I hadn't played Hero Quest since the 80s, okay? And I said, you know what? I'm going to try this new game with the standees and stuff like that and see what you guys think, okay? So I'm going to push all 3 of those off a week because I want to fit in, and if I can get it in, I may move it, but you've got to see this, okay? From my good friend Keith Avalon over at playnow.com. It is real-time pro fishing game. And, you know, I've been talking a lot, you know, especially now that these tariff things are going to go into effect and piss everybody off. I've been talking a lot about this, about, you know, games that are affordable, more games instead of, you know, paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for games. You know, getting games that make sense, you know, that you can get playtime out of. And that's one of the most important things that you can ever do. And this is just so much fun, okay? And I can't wait to show it to you. And if I can get it edited, if I have time, I want to show it to you. I think I'm going to do a little playthrough for Friday. And then, because I'm going to give you the schedule. So I do it Friday. And then after that would be the 3 Fridays of Hero Quest. Then there's an in-between thing of Benio. I play left hand versus right hand. Because I really think that would be cool. Then it is 3 weeks of Warhammer Quest. And then I was going to do Primal, which I thought would be a lot of fun. Because I'm trying to get some of the games that I have, and I want to showcase some things and do some playthroughs. And I want to make Friday Playthrough Friday. Well, that starts this Friday. And I'm going to read that in a second, John. Bear with me. I took a glance of it, but I can't see it without my glasses. And I want to do that all the way through the rest of the years. Make sure that we have playthroughs on Fridays. I should do more of them. I used to do them live, but with all our internet and blah blah blah, and the farm and so forth and so on, I try to show you guys games during the week, and then playthroughs on Friday, and then we get together here on Sunday morning as we do almost every week, you know. Let me read this real quick. Rob, it's not an issue for me. The game means more to you, and Dragon Down has replaced it for me personally. I have Dragon Down. I got to do that. I really appreciate that, Richard. You're a good dude. Just email me novaprime860@hotmail.com. Maybe I could do a playthrough of it or something. I don't know. I'll let's talk a little bit. I appreciate it. John Shepard, my man. Hi, Rob. I saw a comment yesterday on Facebook. A local 3-day gaming con was happening this weekend. Warlord Games packed up early and weren't going to attend the 3rd day. I'm not sure what to think of them. Well, it could be a couple things. Okay. They could be unhappy with the local where. By the way, can you give me a little bit more detail on it, John? Because I know the guys at Warlord. They've been pretty decent. Matter of fact, I lost my Octon Panzer. I wrote them and I didn't hear back from them, but I'm not going to talk badly. Listen, people are not obligated to do anything for me, to be honest with that. Oh, another thing that you're going to see this week, because I'm going to be taping, I'm kind of caught up with all my new releases. Vantage, Emberleaf, I did a video. War Crow Adventures. I'm really liking that game. It's simple, and people are like, oh, well, you know, it's not that good, blah, blah, blah. It's not the greatest dungeon crawl, but it's fun, and I like the miniatures. The app is pretty good. I wanted to show you this while you're here, and while we wait for John. Local UK gaming con from the Northeast. Okay, there's a couple things that could have happened. Okay, number one, they could have had a problem with the organizer. You know, they may have promised a certain amount of people coming, and they didn't. They could have been not selling anything. Okay, it could have been a very low attendance. A lot of cons have been low attendance, and they've said, you know what, we're just going to pack up and go. This is just not working for us. Okay, you know, I'm paying. You know, you have to pay. Warlord Games would have to pay some of their people to be there, and if it's not generated, you know, they probably have to answer to a general, a higher up. And he might have made a decision, okay, yeah, pull out, you know, I can't afford to pay you if we're not making any money. Could very well be stuff like that. Or there could be other reasons, you know. But, you know, you can't really say anything until you have all the facts. And usually, you know, Warlord's pretty good, you know. They're pretty good people. And that's just, you know, they don't answer my thing. But anytime I've seen them at a convention and things like that, they've been really, really good. So, you know, it's kind of hit or miss, you know. The other thing is... Oh, yeah. This came from Miniature Market. I got this in. But very soon, I know it's sold out there, but keep your eyes on Trading Card Market. They're friends of mine, the former guy, Steve. And, oh my God, a Godzilla game. So you're going to be seeing that. I opened up. Some of the cards are just absolutely gorgeous. I'll show you some of them. I mean, look at that. 1967. So it doesn't just hit on the new Godzilla stuff, even though there is a Godzilla -1 deck. And there is this I haven't opened up, the Hensei series. And then I have the booster pack here. 12 packs, 7 cards per pack. Okay, so that's going to add to my little collection here. And my friend Steve is going to send me a couple boxes because I told him that this is my thing, you know, and I'm going to build some really cool stuff out of this. The game is interesting. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll explain it when I do my opening, because I'm going to open and I'm going to show you all the cards. I'm going to show you some of the cards now. Godzilla 1975. Look at that, he's holding Mecha Godzilla's head. Godzilla versus Bagalanti. This is the one. This, look, foil Rage Threat card with the original cover. The Oxygen Destroyer. This one is... I got 2 of them in the same pack, which is kind of weird. But that's okay. That's foil as well. The original Oxygen Destroyer. Godzilla 2023. You got... Yeah, these are all foil. Look at that. I mean, look at this. I mean, really? Sorry, it's kind of hard to see him. Look at my dog. That's my boy. If I can have a pet, Godzilla would be it. Sorry, Gab. But interesting, and it comes with all these this deck. It comes with, the deck comes with 50 card starting deck, and then a booster deck. They give you a booster thing, so you can kind of change up your cards a little bit. But you're going to get a bunch of these. Okay, for this is for the Godzilla -1 deck. And you get different Godzillas. Too, yeah. I mean, look how cool that is, huh? Ugh, it's my boy. That's my boy. This latest Godzilla was so good. And look at him charging up, getting ready to blow stuff up like he does. My dog. This is just a cool. Look at that. That's a cool pose, man. And you get 4 of those. Then you get the ship. These are battle cards. They all have special abilities, and over here is a there's a cost and things like that, and you could play them on certain areas. Even if I never play the game, just having these cards are just. This is when he just like blows up the entire town. Glorious. I love when when he swims. I love when he swims. And then Heat Ray. This is another cool one. Hold on, what's this? So we are set up to go to NC. Oh, it's racquetball stuff. People need me for racquetball. I'm really good, actually. So that's a starting deck. And you can see this particular Godzilla, he has 38,000 points. So you got to beat that in order to get him out. Because he's a bad boy, man. Alright, so I'm going to put this back in here. Hold on. Let me put this. Here's the rules. Oh no, this is a play map. There are 8 areas that you have to try to get to. And once you destroy the 8th area, you win the game. I'll show you all this. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm going to force my son to play it. But the minute you don't even have to get the G all the way out. Yeah, I try to stay away from foil cards nowadays. I find my my old eyes struggle with them. You know, I don't even have to look at them as long as I have them and I can put them someplace in my massive collection of Godzilla stuff, because Godzilla's my boy. So this is the Godzilla -1 deck. I don't even know what you get in here, which must be real cool. Alright. So I'm going to be making a video on that. And people may not be interested, but I am. And the fishing game, which is really, really cool. Okay, I gotta check that out. And say, but just to kind of, how much time? Oh, only a half hour. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so the way I'm going to go about this is I'm going to try to get a hold of some of these companies, see what I can possibly get replaced. And of course, you know, I don't expect it free. Listen, can I get a discount? You know, because I do have a channel and I use this stuff for channels. Is there a way that you can do X, Y, or Z? And you know, with the funds that I have coming back, I can't afford to, you know, none of us could, to be able to replace, you know, what was lost. So, you know, it's going to be really, really hard. You know, some of the compass stuff I lost. Fantasy Flight. That's the one that I have stuff that's just out of print, and of course gone. The original Descent, yep, gone. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that just cannot be replaced. Some of the newer stuff that I had gotten, unfortunately, my Freedom 5 was here because I got to do it, but I lost a lot of stuff from Arcane Wonders. I don't want to bother Robert. He's getting ready for Gen Con. And a lot of people are getting ready for Gen Con, so, you know, they really don't need me breathing. I lost City of Kings. I painted that too. From City of Games. That's a great game. I want to throw up in my mouth. I really do. But, you know, I think there just comes a point where you gotta just go, all right, that happened, brush off. Thank God, you know, some of the things here didn't go. And just, you know, kind of evolve, I guess, you know? I mean, I think that's all you can do. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but, you know, I mean, who the hell, you know, you think your stuff's safe, you know? And it's not. You know, it takes one idiot doing one stupid thing, and then next thing you know, you got a problem. And nobody got hurt, which is more important than anything I could ever have. My cyberpunk stuff gone. I had, you know, a lot of cases and cases of CMON stuff. I lost my Galactus, which was painted. I was going to find room for him. My Marvel stuff gone. My Marvel zombie stuff is gone. What else? Oh, I lost Hate, and I like that. I painted it, and you guys saw most of the videos of it. What were the other things that I lost that really bothered me? Oh, the game Destiny. I painted that when I had COVID. I couldn't sleep at night, and I would be up all night. Matter of fact, I didn't sleep for days. I went out here. Well, it was back at the other house, and I would just paint and paint and paint and paint non-stop. Fortunately, the other game that I painted, Chronicles of Drudgore, is still here, fully painted. That one I did all in about 2 days. You know, I just sat there and painted it. It's tough. But we're going to try to raise some funds. Try to replace some of the stuff that, you know, meant a lot to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold an auction. And I'm going to get rid of some things so I can bring that stuff in here. And then I'm finally done, I think. I mean, as far as, you know, having to move stuff around, because half the stuff is gone. 90%, well, about 80% of it's gone. And now I just got to fit the other 20, and then just rearrange some things here, and you know, just keep going forward with the channel, do the best I can. But boy, I can't say enough about Reggie Games. And when that game comes in, I'm gonna make a video and really thank them, because they didn't have to do that. Just pure kindness, you know, just pure kindness. My Everything Epic Games, I can't believe I lost Monster International. I like that game too. I want to throw up. Lost all my He-Man stuff from CMON. Trying to think what else I had out there. You couldn't even just go through it. And they had some of it roped off, but I was able to get a majority of it, of the stuff that was still. Fortunately, I had really good, and I mean good, totes, and I had a bunch of stuff in there that I saved, and yeah. Let me read some of these comments here. Yeah, I've always heard good things from Warlord. I don't think that retail traders were advertised very well. It is only the second year this has been going. Yeah, you get a second year con, you get all this other stuff going on. People are just really tight with their money, so they go there and nothing's happening. Jeez. Yeah, I try to stay away from foil cards nowadays. I find my old eyes, I still struggle to read them. Sorry, John. Just Ray, late to the chat. Rob, sorry to hear that, brother. It's all right. It happens. Yeah, I know how that feels. I lost some of my games in a flood. Some were the Fantasy Flight GW games, and the flood happened after they lost the license. Luckily, I managed to replace some of them. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, tough. Definitely tough. Just, I think you overcome things. Everything gets pushed against you somehow, and you just got to rise up. If I sit here and whine, what good is it? What example do I set to? When I'm always telling you, pick yourself up, keep going forward. Life's going to punch you in the face. You keep going. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's not going to stop this channel. I've dealt with worse things. Like I said, the most important thing, nobody hurt. And we are stronger for it. We really are. Okay, how do I go forward? Well, you figure a plan, you go forward. I'm not hurting for stuff. I'm very blessed. Okay, took a loss. It hurts. Like I said, it's like part of your personality being taken away from you. It hurts, but are you strong enough to keep going forward? Yeah, I am. Are you strong enough? Do you just readjust your plans and start saying, I'm gonna start concentrating on the things I'm blessed I have? Yeah. I think that's the way you do it. Do we still have stuff coming in? Yeah, we do. Is it going to be fun showing that stuff off? Yeah. Are there some really good things that I'm starting to discover that I found sitting on a shelf? Or, somebody very nice, like Keith Avalon, who's just a tremendous human being. I lost a majority of his stuff. I lost my baseball, I lost my football, I lost golf, which really pisses me off because I like that golf game. I lost soccer. I lost one of the wrestling games. Fortunately, I had bowling here. I have highlight here. I have a lot of his stuff. Playnow.com. Great guy. Fantastic guy. I'll write him and say, hey, listen, I don't want it for free. But here's what happened. Can I get a hometown discount? You know, and if people do that, that's great. If they can't, I understand. I'll find a way to replace some of that stuff. You know, it hurt. You can never trust when you put things in other people's hands. You're always putting at a risk. And then when you turn to them and you say, "Hey, aren't we insured for this?" I'm sure they're insured for it. Oh yeah, up to 500. It's a 10 by 12 space. Are you kidding me? What do you think I do? I have some old clothing from the 80s. You think it's a Goodwill? That we put all our Goodwill stuff in here? No. But that'll teach you. I learned a valuable lesson, and I will never use another storage unit as long as I live. As long as I live. And not for anything, the rates kept going up. And I was just about to, we were just about at the point, because I needed a break from the auctions, because A, there's so much work. B, you guys probably had auction fatigue at some point, because the last one didn't do too well. And, it's really auction fatigue. And I said, let's take a long break and figure this out. And, just, figure out, I wanted to start bringing this stuff over. Because, the rates were going up and I wanted to close that thing out. And I started coming up with a game plan. My wife and I were talking about it about 2 weeks ago. And then, okay, here's what we're going to do. And then we'll and then this happened and just took all the wind out of the sails. So now you adjust. I'm so thankful. There were things I should have brought that I was planning to do here. I should have just brought them here. Should have just stacked them someplace, but I didn't. Roberto Gonzalez, my man. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear this. I have some games in our storage unit, among them Conan, Oathsworn. So I think I will take heed and get bins for them in case it does catch. Well, let me tell you this. Here's the little trick that they tell you. It is up to you to call your homeowner's insurance, okay, and let them know that this is how much that you have in your storage unit. So if something happens, you'll be fully insured, okay. They don't tell you that. Check with your storage unit and find out how much they cover in case of a loss, a flood, sprinklers going off accidentally, a fire, all these kind of things. Find out how that works, and adjust accordingly. Oh, the dungeon crawls is what, because one of the things I was planning to do was bring all the dungeon crawl stuff, because every Friday I've had this plan, and it's now at that point where I am initiating that plan. I stick in the middle, a couple of tchotchke games, but I think that's just so you guys don't get fatigued with certain things. But I had planned on really showcasing some things, and fortunately, the Hero Quest is filmed and all this other stuff. But some of the things that I wanted to film, and I was trying to get way ahead so I don't get fatigued. I could take a few week break, and then spend a week, filming something and putting it there for September, the idea was to really give you guys, to start bringing the channel back to where it was, you know. um, I'm happy with it no matter what. 5,000 videos, 23,000 followers. It's more than I ever dreamed I would do. I think I said, a few years back when I hit 10,000, I said my dream was to hit 10,000 people and I would be satisfied. Well, I was satisfied, but I kept going and it kept growing, and now it's kind of stopped because of everything that's happened over the last couple of years. Could it have kept going? Sure. But I figured I'd put my boots on and give it one more good run. Can you guys even hear me? Holy I didn't even realize that the microphone was all the way back here. Holy cow. Okay. Now you should hear me real good. But, one of the things is that I wanted to make sure that, I put my boots on and that I took one good run at it, okay? I wasn't worried about growth, okay? I exceeded every dream I could ever have. I wasn't worried about being popular. I wasn't worried about the content or cult of the new. I wanted to make this channel where I helped people and I went back to my old ways of just making content that made differences to people. Hey, you're unsure about this? This is affordable. Get it now. Hey, somebody just sent me this game from a guy trying to do his best on Kickstarter. Okay, here's the prototype. A small company like Play Now. I'm a great guy. Keith Hadlon, does a really good job. He has the playnow.com con, and they were excited. They got 20 new people added to the con this year. I was supposed to go one year, but I got really, really sick, and my travel requirements stopped, and I couldn't make it. I really suffered with that COVID. I was supposed to go, and I was looking forward to it. He wanted me to be a special guest out there, and I was willing to do it because he's a great guy. Steve Tower, who does sports games, does a great job. Their subscriber count is very, very, very low, but their passion for things, I don't get it. They should be right where I am, if not more, because of how much they love things. And I'm going to try to help them out here. And this real-time fishing, which I'm going to show you the cover again. We're going to, I'm going to push everything forward, and I want to move this up. This just released for playnow.com. And this isn't a sell job. This isn't a cult of the new thing. This isn't overhyping, trying to hype something up, because he sent me this copy, which he did. I asked him, I said, hey, I see that you're doing a fishing game. This was a few months back. I go, when does this go live so I can purchase it? He goes, Rob, I think we're going to do it right after our con. I'll send you a copy. He sent me a copy. I got it yesterday morning. I started playing it and learning it about 3 o'clock. Took a break, 8, and then I played it until 11 o'clock. Each game takes 15 minutes, okay? I'm going to tell you something. I played this thing till 10 o'clock. I must have played about 50, 60 games. I played a tournament. I played, which is a little different, and I couldn't stop playing this. I had so much fun with this. And there is it has a fantastic mechanism. So I said, you know what? I like this so much. I'm going to tape this. I'm going to tape a playthrough, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to put it up on Friday. And I have a nice little intro, outro. And I hope you guys watch it. I really do. Because I really think that you'll enjoy what what you see, and then you'll run out and go get the game, to support, this very good company. You want something small. You want something that you're going to play a lot. You can play 2-player. You could play 1-player. You could play solo. You could play against the AI. You could just play just to fish. And I look at the mechanism of it, and I go, I mean, you have to be freaking kidding me. I go, it's that simple? And I was completely blown away by it. So I'm looking forward to showcasing this, which pushes Hero Quest up another week. So we'll do all that. Then there's an in-between game. Then it's Warhammer Quest. Then yeah, because I was going to do Primal. So my hold off on Primal until I can, they're going to send that to me, which is very kind. I'm going to paint up the guys again. I'm going to paint up at least the first critter, and then we're going to do a playthrough of that. Then I'm going to do, I don't know, I was thinking of doing Cloudspire. I was thinking of doing Leagues of Dungeoneers. I was, I think what's going to happen is on Wednesdays I'm going to include some playthroughs too. And they have the 5th edition of Space Empires coming out with the new expansion. So we are going to go through all these things, and we are going to have a great time. Space Empires is one of my favorite games. I wanted to do Zaya for a run. So I have been toying with the fact of possibly doing 2 playthroughs a week. Okay, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. I try to do three videos a week, but let's be honest, I do all those shorts. Okay, I put up 3 videos, then I'm live on Sunday. At this point, after doing this for 10 years, I think that's a lot of videos for a guy that's been doing this 10 years, and that I think that's fair. I think you would agree with that, would you not? But I think I used to do a video a day. I would be live 3 times a week. I put a lot into it, and I think I deserve a little bit of a break now. I'm getting older too. So, still 3 videos is a lot, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I fill those in with stories from the stupid demon down the hill, our new kitten. And then I've got puppy stories, and then cow stories, chicken stories. We're still trying to find what's eating those damn eggs. I know it's a snake. He knows it's a snake. It's just a matter of catching this mofo and taking him out. We've been nice. We've relocated tons of snakes. But you start eating our eggs, our breakfast, it's us or them. Love Space Empires. I'm supposed to have a character card named after me in the new expansion. That's cool, Richard. That's really cool. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to point it out when I do the review. I am a massive GMT fan. I am a massive fan of Space Empire, so we're going to do that. The Banjo and the Pepsi Bunny Network. So sorry to hear all this, Rob. Love from Adeline. The Banjo and Pepsi Bunny Network. That may be the coolest name ever. I've seen some cool things, but now I want to check that out. I'm almost tempted to go to screen. Hold on here, just so we can all find out what the Bunny Network is. Hold on. No.
This video is brought.
No, that's not it. Ah, damn it. I thought I had it set where I can. I have a setting in there where I can go to the screen. I was actually going to click on this and definitely check out what the Banjo and Bunny Pepsi. See, now I'm curious. Go to channel. Well, hold on. I'm not going to do that right now because knowing my luck, I'll blow everything that Kingdom Come. I'm going to check that out. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Love the name. Now I'm curious. Now everybody go and check out the Banjo and Pepsi Bunny Network. You have to now. You have to. Okay? Anybody sees this in the future, go check that out. All right, there you go. So, let's see, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. I've been on for an hour. Boy, I can chew up an hour. I don't shut up, do I? So we're gonna call it here. I'll let you know how things go. I got my granddaughter's birthday on Saturday. She's gonna be 6. Where did time go? Little Emmy 6. Robbie's 4. He'll be 5 in January. My other grandkids up in Connecticut, they're 12 and 10. Oh man, it just goes by quick. You know, and that's why I tell you, you can't worry about stuff. Things are going to happen to you. There's going to be ups and downs. It's gravity. That's the way the world works. On gravity. You just overcome it. You deal with it. You roll with the changes, and you keep your head held up high. All right, we'll overcome this. We'll deal with this. Next, I don't know when I'll put the video up because we're going to tape all the stuff that we're going to sell. I hope you support us to try to soften a little bit of this, and I'm going to part with some things I don't want to, but it's all right. It's all right. I think Project Elite has to go. I love that game, but it's a tough game to show you guys. There's a lot of panic. I have everything for it. That's going to go. I think my Arkham Horror card game, I got a ton of that stuff. That's going to go. Necromunda and I'm going to just have to let that go. I'm going to have to, because I've got to raise some funds. There's another game that I painted. The box, they have you put together these cardboard buildings, but I put it into a little tote, so it's kind of like a really cool Renaissance game. I think you guys would like it. And I have an expansion that you can add to it. That's gonna go. Dungeon Saga Origins, and there was the Legendary Edition with the Ultimate Pledge and extras. That's gonna go. So we're gonna do what we can. It's painful, but we will do what we can. All right, listen, I love you all. Thanks for spending another Sunday morning with me. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful week. We will overcome everything that happened. That's all I can tell you. We'll find a way. I want to thank again Reggie Games for being so kind. So kind. They are just a fantastic company. What they've done for us, I'll never forget. And we'll support them with all our hearts. That's all we can do. All right. I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I know I will. Okay. And I'll see you during the week. A lot of really good videos I'm proud of. Matter of fact, everything going forward, I really, really like. Except I keep pushing off a couple of videos that were kind of before we kind of said, hey, we're going to brush off our shoulders and really do a great job. Really put a supreme effort in. And, I'll eventually do it. Love you all. Take it easy. Have a great, great Sunday. It's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.
This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.